Hey y'all, welcome to Restless Chipotle Kitchen. Today we are going to put together a meal that has almost zero prep time, and you just throw it in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes and it's completely done. So let's get started. Okay y'all, this is unbelievably easy. You're going to use frozen meatballs, 18 ounces. You're going to use 1 can of French onion soup, undiluted, and you're going to use about 8 to 10 ounces of frozen onions. That's about 1.5 onions. I forgot to buy frozen onions. No surprise there. And so I'm using onion that I cut up a little while ago, and I did more. I like a lot of onion flavor, so there's probably a cup and a half and probably a pound in there. Anyway, this is so easy. Now, one thing that I suggest you do, because you're gonna love this recipe, is buy 4 packages of meatballs, 4 8-ounce packages of onions, 4 French onion soups, and 32 ounces of sliced Swiss, okay? Now, when you get home and the meatballs are all still frozen and your onions, which you did the right thing and bought frozen onions, are still frozen, and your soup is still ready, then you're gonna take the top off the soup, you're gonna cut open the bag of meatballs, you're gonna cut open the bag of onions, and you're gonna pour the soup, the meatballs, and the onions all into a gallon size freezer bag, okay? You do that with each one, and then split up your cheese and put like 8 slices of that in a quart size freezer bag and staple the two together. Get a label and put it on there and say French onion meatballs, August 13th, 2023, and bake at 350, okay? Get those things on the label. Now you have 4 dinners that you can have ready within just 20 minutes, okay? All you're gonna have to do is dump them in the pan and put them in the oven. So let's get started so you can see how easy this is. I just wanted, I don't know, I'm sure that y'all are as busy as I am, and it's really nice to have a really quick dinner like that in the oven. Now, I doubt seriously that anything is going to stick to this, but I'm going to spray it anyway because, just in case, okay? Now, we're going to take our meatballs, and we are going to put them right in the skillet. And then we're going to take our onions and just dump those in. And again, it's easier if they're frozen. And then we're going to take our French onion soup and we're going to pour that right over the top. Give it a good stir so that everything is kind of all stirred in there together. Okay? Now we're going to cover this and put it in a 350 oven for about 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to take a piece of aluminum foil. I like to use iron skillets because you can cook right in the pan and it's great. Like, this is a 1-pan dinner when you use an iron skillet or any kind of oven-proof skillet. Okay. Cover this side. If you're going to get aluminum foil, it's best to get the heavy duty, and I did not. That's not what I had, so I'm having to be real careful. But if you get the heavy duty aluminum foil, you won't have to be so careful. It doesn't rip very easily. All right, we're gonna just form that around the side of the pan. So it's all covered, it's all sealed, and then we'll put that in our 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes, and then I'll check to see if it's hot. You do not have to thaw the meatballs, okay? That's the beauty of this. You just pour everything into this pan. One thing I want to tell you is have some cornstarch on hand because my recipe doesn't call for cornstarch, but sometimes, especially if you're using fresh onions, there'll be a lot of liquid in there. And so what I'll do is I will take the meatballs out of the oven when they're done, and I'll put them on the stove, and I'll mix like a teaspoon and a half of cornstarch with a fourth cup of beef stock or water. And then I'll just stir it in and let it simmer for a couple of minutes, and it's thickened up beautifully. So if it's too thin, just take that extra 5 minutes and use the cornstarch trick, okay? Great. Okay, y'all. It's been about 30 minutes because the onions weren't frozen, so it was going to take them a little bit longer to cook. I'm going to take this off. Ooh, that looks so good. My onions soaked up a lot of the liquid from this, so I'm going to put a little bit of beef broth in here. Well, yeah, that's from the, I don't know, have you ever used Better Than Bouillon? That's what that is. So I've got a little bit more liquid in here, but I kind of would like it thicker. I'm going to use the cornstarch trick, and I'm going to put about a teaspoon of cornstarch in some water and stir it up really, really well. And then add this and put it on the stove for just a minute, and it will thicken this right up so that it's more like a glaze, which is kind of what I want today. So give me just another minute. All right. That took just a little minute, and it's thickened up so that it's more like a thick glaze on the meatballs. Now what we're going to do is we have to put the cheese on, because what is French onion soup or French onion anything without Swiss cheese or some other kind of cheese on it? And you can, I don't know, I think the recipe calls for 8 slices, or I'm not sure, half a pound. But you put on as much as you want or as little as you want. I like a lot of cheese. Cover everything. Oops, that one didn't get under. There we go, tuck that under. All right, and then we're just gonna put the cover on and put it back on the stove for just a minute and let that cheese have a chance to melt. The other thing that you can do is you can run it under the broiler, and come to think about it, I think that's what I'm going to do today. I think it'll be way faster. So we'll take that cover right off. I'm going to put this in the broiler for just a few minutes, and I'm going to watch it very carefully. Be right back. And there it is. The cheese is all melted. The gravy or the broth stuff is thick. There's all those onions in there. All those meatballs. It just is delicious. Now, what I like to do is I like to get a little bowl like this and put a piece of baguette in the bottom of it, and then put my meatballs right on the top. Can you see those strings of cheese just everywhere? So cheesy and good. There we go. Look at that. Dinner is served. Okay, y'all. Here's the meatballs and the bread. And I'm going to get too much in my mouth if I don't be careful, so I'm just going to take a tiny little bite. I guarantee you I'm going to finish this up later. Ooh. That tastes like French onion soup. And meatballs. Really good. Sometimes I like to get hoagie rolls or small baguettes and split them open and put the French onion meatballs in for meatball sandwiches. It's kind of a neat twist on a meatball sandwich, and they are so good. Kids love them. I don't know who doesn't like these. So This is going to save you a lot of time. Be sure to give it a try, and then if you like it, which I'm very sure you will, then buy it in bulk, several packages, throw them together, throw them in your freezer, and you'll have them whenever you need them. It's so chaotic right now with back to school and getting back into the swing of things and having to help the kids with homework again, and nobody's used to it. This is a lifesaver, y'all. It's a lifesaver. So I hope you come back next week. I hope you'll subscribe, and you'll have a fabulous day. Love ya. Bye-bye.